All right, we're going to start, as we are going to start every class like we started the last class, with the relaxation response. For the people who weren't here, I want to teach you, by the way, you have a blue bookmark that has the relaxation response on it. We're going to start every class with the relaxation response. And I want to review what we went over last time, because I'm going to recommend that you practice the breathing exercise no matter what we're doing as a relaxation response. That you also make sure that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Believe it or not, I've personally experienced this, and I'm sure most of you guys have too. If you're really angry, if you're really scared, sometimes if you're really depressed, if you notice and pay attention, you'll realize that you maybe stop breathing, or you start breathing really shallow. A lot of people will hold their breath when they get scared, or they'll hold their breath a lot of times when they're getting angry. And breathing will relax you. If you remember to take some deep breaths whenever you need to relax, it will help. That's why the first relaxation response that we taught last week is a simple breathing exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime. You can do it while somebody's talking to you, making you mad. You can do it while you're driving, getting freaked out with traffic. Breathe in, if you can, through your nose, and think to yourself, I am safe. Count to 4. And then breathe out and think to yourself, I am at peace. 4, count to 5. Always breathe out for a little bit longer than you breathe in. If you do this, and you are scared or angry or in a lot of pain, by the way, I use it for muscular pain, it does help. It won't make your fear go away, it won't make your anger go away, it won't make your pain go away, but it will actually help it a little bit, and it'll definitely help you deal with whatever it is. So I personally use this one all the time and encourage you to use it all the time. Today we're going to practice a different relaxation response though. The other part of the relaxation response for the new people, if you look at your bookmark, it's repetition of a word, sound, phrase, or muscular activity. Those of you who were here last week, I'm sorry, what was your name, ma'am?
My name is Julie.
Could you do me a favor, right? What's your name?
Julie Ann.
Julie? You like being called Julie or Julie Ann?
Julie Ann.
Julie Ann. So I think we have 3 people who weren't here last week. What SAMHSA, the National Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, did was they looked at, we'll wait because this is important, this is also today's lesson. So, hi, what's your name?
Antonio Boyd.
Antonio Boyd. Thank you. Let me get you a book, a bookmark, and a pen.
Antonio, I am recording, so if you do not want to be on camera, you might want to switch around the seat there.
Okay. Take those with you.
I'd take the home.
Yeah, those are yours to
The
keep.
book too.
Yep. Write your name on the outside of the book, though, if you don't mind. And I'll start over here in a second. What's your name?
Antonio Boyd.
Antonio Boyd. Thank you. SAMHSA, Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration, the National Mental Health Agency. They looked at yoga, prayer, meditation, drugs, everything that people use to relax. And they said, what do all these healthy, established relaxation practices have in common? And what they decided was that they all use repetition of a word, sound, phrase, or muscular activity. So, yoga, muscular activity; prayer, you're repeating words and sounds. Listening to music, obviously you're listening to sounds, and a lot of people will listen to the same music over and over again to relax, and you're listening to repetitive sound. And passive disregard of everyday thoughts. That does not mean you're trying to clear your head, because that's really hard to do anyways. What it does mean is when you get distracted, when you're trying to relax and practice the relaxation response, you simply turn your mind back to whatever you were doing for the relaxation response. So if you're practicing this breathing exercise, yes ma'am?
Now, would that work when someone's ADHD is acting up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because my son is ADHD, and I've actually taught him this relaxation response. He uses it, and it helps. I am bipolar with racing thoughts when I'm manic, and I have a rapid cycling bipolar, so I'm manic every day at times. And I have racing thoughts, and it helps me with my racing thoughts. That's why what I was getting ready to say was, you're gonna get distracted. So don't worry about getting distracted. You're gonna start thinking, okay, what's the weather gonna be like tonight and tomorrow? What's my drive gonna be like, or the bus ride gonna be like on the way home? What are they having for lunch today? Oh man, I look terrible today, which I do, but I don't care. You're gonna get distracted while you're practicing the relaxation response. The beautiful thing is, if you practice it enough, you'll remember the passive disregard means let yourself get distracted, but when you get distracted, remind yourself to go back to your phrases or your counting or the one we're going to do today. Today, it's very simple. We are going to have repetition of a muscular activity, which is rubbing a rock. Sounds simple and stupid maybe even. But we're just going to rub a rock, play with it in your hands, pass it back and forth between your hands, rub it between your fingers. And while you're doing it, for passive disregard, you're going to be focusing on how the rock feels, what it looks like when you hold it up against the light, maybe even how it sounds when you drop it on the table. Doesn't matter. You're focusing on the rock. While you're playing with the rock, you're going to be distracted by daily thoughts and whatever you're worried about or thinking about. When you get distracted, that's okay, let yourself get distracted, but then go back to focusing on the thing that you're playing with. Like this one right here, I'll give this to somebody. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little air bubbles inside of it. Count the air bubbles. Anything that keeps you what they call in the moment. That's how you practice the passive disregard. So I'm going to pass this around. Take 1 or 2 or 3. I'm going to take 3. And for about 3 minutes, all we're going to do is we're going to rub, play with, feel the rocks, look at them, pay attention to how they feel, pay attention to what they look like, the texture, what the texture looks like. On the bottom of them, you can see it's kind of rough. On the top, it's kind of smooth, etc., etc. What shape is it? Is one more round than the other? I've got one that's round, one that's kind of oval. That's all I'm doing is I'm focusing on what's in my hand. Does that make sense? So we're going to do that after everybody gets some rocks for about maybe, 3 minutes, Phil? Since I'm getting a long time. Yep. With that being said, this is the second relaxation response that I've introduced to you. In future classes, what I recommend is that you bring in your own ideas. Last time I facilitated this group, somebody wanted to listen to sounds of the ocean. So I just went on YouTube and searched for ocean sounds and started playing this thing that had seagulls and waves crashing, and for 3 or 4 minutes we just sat and listened to the sounds of the ocean. Another time a guy wanted to, Michael, what music did you want to play? I remember being surprised because I thought, oh God, I'm not going to be able to relax to that. But it was actually pretty cool music for us.
So which one, because there was a few of them that I had. I had the...
It was a rock song, and I'm thinking, there's no way I can relax to a rock song. But
was it a Whitesnake song, or was it Here We Go Again by Whitesnake?
No, it wasn't that.
Or was Renegades by Ex-Ambassadors?
Renegades. And I'm thinking, oh God. But we just started playing it, but we followed the rules. We were listening to the music, listening to the repetitive sounds of the music, and we were practicing passive disregard by paying attention to what we were listening to, and it worked as a relaxation response. So,
The song is
So the-
really good.
Yeah.
It relaxes me when I'm really anxious or excited or angry, or just frustrated. That song brings me back to a mellow state.
yeah, so it worked. So in future classes, I'm gonna ask people to bring in your own ideas for a relaxation response. And we're gonna try them, and hopefully by the end of the 10-week class, you will go home with one that you can practice on a regular basis that you can use to help you when you need to relax. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, you've got 1 to 2 to 3, however many you pick. Pick up the rocks, focus on what they look like, how they feel. You're gonna get distracted by your own thoughts and me, just ignore them. Go back to focusing on the color, the feel, the sound. Move them around in your hands, rub them, drop them on the table. Just don't throw them at me, please. How many rocks do you have?
3.
What color are they?
Dark blue, very light blue, and clear.
I think they're all rough on the bottom. Are they all rough on the bottom?
Yep.
Mine are.
Mine are, but they got fingerprints that look like on the inside,
Oh, wow.
and they all have air bubbles. All right, that was the simplest relaxation response that we have, but it still works. By the way, you can keep these. One of the things that I found myself doing after I got some like these, when I took the class, was I put them in my pocket, and then every once in a while I'd had my hand in my pocket and I'd feel them and I'd pull them out and I'd start playing. So, and you can keep them on your desk, you can keep them on a table next to a chair at home while you're watching TV and play with them. And it works as a relaxation response. Okay, today for the new people, since we have so many new people, I'm going to do a preview of the class. We have time since today's lesson is the relaxation response. I've spent so much time on anyway. Do you think we have time to go over another?
We need
piece of
to.
What's coming up?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is this class about? What is WHAM about? WHAM is WHAM, stands for Whole Health Action Management. I love this class because most of the time something is wrong with us. We go to the doctor, we say, I feel like I want to die every day when I get up or every day before I go to bed. Or I hate the world and I hate everybody I see. Whatever your mental health issue is. Me, I'm afraid to drive on the interstate, afraid to leave my house, afraid to breathe, I won't be able to breathe, et cetera, et cetera. So we go to our doctor. We tell our doctor what we feel, what's wrong, what the symptom is. And our doctor says,
This is what's wrong with you. This is what you need to do to fix it. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if what the doctor gives you works, right? That's not the WHAM approach. WHAM looks at it not from a perspective of what's wrong with you, but WHAM looks at what are some good things in your life that you can add to make you healthier. My doctor will say, well, you need to stop thinking about, what's scaring you. You need to stop doing this. It's what you're doing wrong. WHAM doesn't focus on what's wrong. It focuses on good things that you can add to your life to make you healthier. So some of the topics it covers is improving your health, support connections, service to others, optimism based on positive expectations, cognitive skills to avoid negative thinking, spiritual beliefs and practices, sense of meaning and purpose. We're going to talk about healthy sleep, healthy eating, physical activity, stuff like that.
So it's basically trying to help you deal with whatever you're going through.
Actually, yes, but not by telling you what to do.
Right.
And that's where I was going. So
Yeah.
all those things I just mentioned, I'm going to pick, last time I picked healthy eating, which I am going to do right now in a few minutes. But first, I'm going to start with support network. I'm a loner. I have something called agoraphobia. I'm afraid to leave my apartment. Because of that, I don't go very many places. I don't have very many friends. I'm not a very social person. So the thing that I love most about this class is this class will never tell you, what's your name again, sir?
Maurice?
Maurice, the book is never going to say, Maurice, you need to stop eating cheeseburgers, or you need to sleep 9 hours a night, or you need to have more friends. Here's what the book's going to do. It's going to tell Maurice and I to instead ask ourselves questions like this for support network. If you want to follow along, I'm on page 24, but the only reason I'm reading it is to give the new people and to remind the people who were here last week what this class is about. I can trust the following people to be there for me. There are no wrong answers. My answer might be nobody. These are friends that I enjoy doing things with. Well, I enjoy talking to Bill at work sometimes. I enjoy talking to Jeannie at work sometimes. I enjoy talking to maybe one or two of my neighbors. A couple of the other neighbors I don't like talking to very much. But some people in my support network are. I don't have much of a support network. My mom, maybe people here at work, Bill, maybe Jeannie, maybe Brian if I get to know him better. I don't know. Not very many. I attend a support group on a regular basis and finds it benefits me in these ways. Well, I go to the Depression Bipolar support group here. It helps me a little bit. Other than that, I don't go to many groups outside of here anyways. What are 3 to 5 things a person might start doing on a regular basis to strengthen their support network? It wants me to answer that question. Well, they could go to church. They could maybe go out and have a beer every once a month or something. They could join they could come up with a hobby and join a hobby group. So that would be my answer to that question. If you notice, not once on that page did the book tell me, get some more friends, be nicer to people, get a bigger support network, get rid of some bad friends. It doesn't tell me what to do at all. It's asking me questions, and those questions lead me to the opportunity at the bottom to decide, okay, maybe I want to start going to church. Maybe I want to start getting a new hobby, and if I don't want to, that's perfectly fine too. I'm going to have you turn to one more page, and this is a continuation of an introduction to this class. Turn to page 19. I like page 9, actually. Physical activity or sleep. Let's see a show of hands for physical activity.
What about it?
Huh?
What about, do you do it?
Which one should I go over as an example? Physical activity or sleep? Which one do you guys think is the bigger? Physical activity. Raise your hand. Sleep. Raise your hand. Sleep it is. Page 19. I usually get blank hours of sleep a night.
For me, it's right at 8. I usually wake up about blank times during the night. For me, it's about 3. Yeah, I know. I think I need 9.5 hours of sleep to function well. You get to answer your own question. I would rate the quality of my sleep on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being restless, 5 being restful, at a 2 or a 3, between a 2 and a 3. I know that I am not getting enough sleep when these things happen. When it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I haven't gone to bed yet. When I just lay there in bed and can't fall asleep. When I wake up in a lot of pain. And when I have nightmares. I have learned that I sleep better when I do these things before I go to bed. I love that question because this class, and that question sums up this whole class. This book will never say, what's your name again?
Julianne.
Julianne, you should do these things before you go to bed. It asks you to think about I learned that I sleep better when I do these things before I go to bed. It asks you to think about what makes you sleep better, what helps you sleep better. And if you notice, after that, there's no question saying, okay, this is what I'm going to start doing it just says, this is what I do. I sleep better when I do these things before I go to bed. And it leaves it up to you at that point to decide whether or not you want to start doing some of those things more often. Does that make sense? Not once did the book say you should get 6 to 9 hours of sleep. Not once did the book say, don't drink caffeine before you go to bed. Not once is the book going to say,
Turn your phone off.
turn your phone off an hour before you go to bed. Book's not going to tell you what to do. Book lets you decide what you do in each of these different categories that we're going to cover. I feel like I talk too much, so please interrupt me. Bill's my co-facilitator. Today we're going to start on page 10, which is session 2, the science of stress. Any questions, by the way? Okay. Before we start reading about the science of stress, who in here already practices some kind of relaxation response, like prayer, listening to music, going for a walk, meditating, yoga? Do you do anything to relax? Listen to music? Huh? Music?
Music, and then
I
usually
used to
sleep.
train in martial arts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that can be very relaxful and peaceful.
Yeah, because it gets out your physical aggression without hurting anybody or yourself.
Okay. Do you have anything? What's your name again? I'm sorry.
Maurice.
Maurice. I'll remember your names eventually. Maurice.
Oh, music?
Music?
Me taking my neighbor's dog for a walk, music, and making jewelry.
Okay.
Prayer always works for me.
That's one of mine too. Julianne?
You?
And also, I did a meditation exercise last week as part of being here.
What do they teach? Because they teach a bunch of different ones. I'm always curious.
It was just a guided imagery type
Okay.
of exercise. You
Yeah.
had it on a laptop and you close your eyes, you could be on the floor or sitting up and you just respond to various things that they say, and it was just calming and
Okay.
understanding, so that was good. I hadn't done that for a long time, since
Very
high
cool.
school.
I'm the least relaxed person you'll ever meet. Got nothing.
You look pretty relaxed, so.
And that's because I'm asleep.
Ironically.
No, exercise helps me.
Okay. I'm in physical therapy. I have multiple sclerosis, and they got me doing all kinds of really difficult physical therapy exercises. And one of them, I have an exercise bike I'm supposed to ride every night. And I was like, oh God, I do not want to do this. But it's kind of relaxing after a while, just be watching TV, pedaling, and I'm not going really fast. I'm not killing myself.
Repetitive motion.
But it's kind of relaxing, yeah, it's really cool. All right, moving on. Who would like to read the first paragraph on page 10 for the group?
I think it's better for the group if you're more interactive by taking turns reading and sharing in the reading. Anybody? Thank you.
Stress is pervasive in American society. It is estimated that 60 to 80% of visits to healthcare providers in the U.S. are related to stress and its manifestations. The prevention and treatment of harmful effects of stress is a vital feature of health integration.
All right, who would like to read the next big paragraph for us? Anybody? All right, thank you.
The body converts psychological stress into cellular stress that adversely affects the physical makeup of cells. This cellular stress is what uncovers our disease vulnerabilities. Rosalind Carter, in her book Within Our Reach, says when a person is under severe stress, the brain has to work very hard to maintain normal blood pressure, heart rate, and temperature, among other things. If a person experiences multiple continuous stressors, he starts losing the battle. If the stress remains overwhelming or persistent, it will take its toll on a person's health, either physically, mentally, or both. It is important to note that stressors occur in many ways across the spectrum of a person's life, but there is growing awareness of the particular impact of trauma, especially childhood trauma, on all dimensions of whole health.
All right, not only does stress lead to physical illness, but prolonged stress often precipitates relapse for persons with mental illness and addictions. The ability to reduce and or counter the negative impacts of stress is important for relapse prevention. How has or does stress impact your mental health, addiction, and overall health and wellness? I will answer that first. After I thought about this question a couple times, and I've answered it multiple times facilitating groups, I realized one of the biggest ways that stress affects me is if I'm too angry, too scared, too depressed, I make horrible decisions. So that's just one of the ways it affects me. Anybody else like to answer? We're not going to go around the room. Just, if you'd like to answer, speak out. All right, the stress response, page 11. Research has shown that prolonged stress has an adverse effect on one's health. In order to understand this, it's necessary to understand these three things: metabolism, stressors, and the stress response. Metabolism is the body's chemical process of breaking down organic matter or food into nutrients and energy that the body can use. Everybody understands what metabolism is, basically. Stressors are events or thoughts that communicate danger to a person's security, threaten the sense of well-being, or communicate loss of control. I think we all know what stressors are. They usually have names. They're usually people. The stress response, also known as the fight or flight response, is the body preparing to deal with the impending danger or stressor. As a person enters the stress response, the body experiences the following to get more energy to the large muscles and vital organs of the body. Your metabolism increases, your breathing speeds up, your heart beats faster, your blood pressure increases, your blood vessels constrict, stress hormones like cortisol increase.
And that's preparation for fight or flight, right?
Yep.
There's another piece to that, which you don't hear much of, but fight or flight or freeze. And that's my go-to.
What,
Is to
freeze?
freeze, yeah. And then you've got cortisol built up, your heart rate's faster, your blood pressure's up, and you're not doing anything to reduce those.
You read ahead in the book, didn't you?
I did not. That's my experience from.
Well, that's actually part of what we're going to learn. Why, if I remember right, your body has to do something with that.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. So, the next paragraph I love. If a person's stressor is a saber-toothed tiger and that person flees to safety or fights to victory, the danger no longer exists. The person has burned most, if not all, of the energy that the body has produced, and the body goes into a relaxation mode after it's over. After you run away, you've used up all the energy, or you've fought, your metabolism decreases, your breathing slows down, your heartbeat slows down, your blood pressure decreases, your blood vessels open up, and your stress hormones. So the opposite happens after you fight or run away. Most of the time, though, our stressors are people in our lives,
And we're not literally running anywhere away from something. We're not fighting somebody physically to burn up that energy. So next, page 12, next line. What if the stressor is not a saber-toothed tiger? What if the stressor is workplace demands that don't go away? What happens then? The body continues to produce energy because it thinks that energy is needed to survive and expects the energy to burn up. What happens to all the energy that is not burned off by fighting or fleeing? Who would like to read those two small paragraphs for us? Somebody who hasn't read yet. Anybody?
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Much of the energy is held in stress hormones called cholesterol, which deposits fat deep in abdomen. This type of fat is known as visceral fat, or the non-principal belly fat, which is not attributable to poor diet or lack of exercise, but rather to affect the stress hormones on the body. Research shows that visceral fat can be dangerous, and it is associated with increased risk of heart disease, diabetes, and some form of cancer. Visceral fat also affects the function of the liver and weakens the immune system.
Which means you're more likely to get sick. So that's a big one. Is there a way to counter or stop the stress response when we are not able to fight or flee the danger? There is, and it's called the relaxation response. Now, the next 2 pages is going to teach you the same thing that I taught you at the beginning of last class and at the beginning of this class. But we're going to go over it again, because now we're into the book's explanation of everything that I tried to explain, and I'm sure it's going to do a better job. Who would like to read the first paragraph in the list on the top of page 13 for us? Somebody who hasn't read it.
Yeah, Mary excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we on page 14?
Page 13.
The relaxation response is a state of deep rest that changes the physical and emotional responses to stress and decreases heart rate, blood pressure, rate of breathing, and muscle tension. When the relaxation response is elicited, metabolism decreases, breathing slows down, heartbeat slows down, blood pressure decreases, blood vessels open up, and stress hormones decrease. If practiced regularly, it can have lasting effects.
All right, I'd like to show you guys something really quick. This is a heart rate monitor app for smartphones. Your smartphone has the capability of using the camera to detect changes in your finger as blood is pulsing through your finger. So if you notice, the LED light on my camera is shining on my finger, and the camera is sensitive enough to pick up changes in my heart rate, because as blood goes in and out of my finger, the color and the camera can detect the changes. So right now, my pulse is 116. Now I'm going to take my pulse again, standing up, but I'm going to practice the relaxation response
Isn't
while I do it.
116 a little high?
It is. But I have breathing problems, and when your lungs don't work very well, your heart has to work.
What's the norm?
60 to 90, sitting 60 to 90. I'm going to do it again right now without just sitting, without standing up, and it'll be between 60 and 90 most likely, I hope. If not, yeah, it's already looking like it's going to be between 60 and 90. It's 80, 70, 85. So it's already lower than it was when I was getting out of my chair. So let's see what it is. Showing it to you. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys, and my pulse rate is 79. Now I'm going to practice the relaxation response. So, try it again. I didn't count.
How accurate is that app?
It's relatively accurate.
Because most apps aren't very accurate. Most apps these days aren't. There's always some kind of flaw with them. I think every app has a flaw.
You're thinking every.
75, it only dropped 4 beats per minute. Usually it drops about 10 when I do the relaxation response.
But it went down.
It went down. Last time I went to every time I go to my psychiatrist, they want to take your vitals before you go see your doctor. And every time, just for grin, since I facilitate this group, after they do my blood pressure, I ask them to do it a second time, and I just practice my breathing exercise, and the top number at least, always goes down by like 10. And it's pretty cool to watch it go down as I practice the relaxation response. If practiced regularly, it can have lasting effects. The founder of Benson Henry Institute, Dr. Herbert Benson, a Harvard Medical School trained cardiologist, his work started in the late 1960s, pioneered mind-body medicine by linking stress to physical health after observing that his patients had elevated blood pressure during regular checkups. Dr. Benson's research found that by changing thought patterns, subjects experienced decreased in their metabolism, rate of breathing, and heart rate, and had slower brain waves. These changes appeared to be the opposite of the commonly known fight or flight or stress response. Dr. Benson labeled it the relaxation response, which is the foundation of mind-body medicine practiced at BHI. How does one elicit the relaxation response? Repetition of a word, sound, phrase, or muscular activity, and passive disregard of everyday thoughts that inevitably come to mind and return to your repetition. So, I think I've beaten the relaxation response like a dead horse. Page 14. I'm going to read these questions out loud. As I read them out loud, I encourage you to write down some answers, or at least think about your answers, and then we'll go around the room and give everyone a chance, if they want to share their answers. So I'll try to read them slow. I'll answer them as I read them, but you don't have to listen to my answers. I'm answering them for myself. While I'm reading them, I want you to think of your answers. And somebody else, and one of the things I love about the Recovery Center is in groups, somebody may answer a question and come up with something that you think, oh, well, I should have thought of that. Yeah, that one's one of mine too. So these are some causes of stress in my life. My kids, my coworkers, traffic, politics, my physical health, lack of money, sometimes having money and spending it, sex, sexual frustration, desires, issues, relationship issues, put it that way.
Intimacy?
Huh?
Intimacy issues?
Yeah, I'm just listing causes of stress in my life, but I think we only have 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to cut myself off at answering the first question and those answers. These are my favorite activities for relaxing or having fun. Playing mindless games on my smartphone, listening to music, watching TV, petting my neighbor's dog, sex, intimacy. One of the stressors is also one of the relaxation. What else? Sometimes eating relaxes me. Having fun. I don't have fun in the traditional sense. I do like laughing and making jokes with my kids. I make them laugh and we tell jokes all the time. Next question. When I feel stressed out, I like to do these things to take care of myself. By the way, there are no wrong answers, and just because your answer may not be healthy doesn't mean it's not accurate. Sleep. Feel sorry for myself. Take a bath. I know this can sound weird to some people. Clean my apartment. I hate cleaning, and I'm in a lot of pain afterwards, and I hate doing it, but I love sitting down in a clean, at least one of the rooms
having it clean is really nice. And I like to treat myself to hot fudge sundaes every once in a great while. It's my indulgence. What are 3 to 5 things a person might start doing on a regular basis to reduce the impact of stress in their life? Not ruminate on things. I know I do that a lot. Not worry about things that you can't control, which I'm not an alcoholic, but I love the Serenity Prayer because it can help me if I remembered it every second of every day, because I'm bad about worrying about things that I have no control over and stressed about things that I have no control over. If I could do more of that. That's pretty much it for me. Now, I'm going to go around the room. I'm not sure this time. Sometimes I go one at a time, and if you don't want to answer, just say pass. Sometimes I just ask whoever wants to answer. This time I think I'll go around the room and just ask people if you want to answer some of the questions. No? Maurice? What are some of the causes of stress in your life?
People?
Noises from outside. That's about
Okay.
it.
So Maurice, are you talking about at home where you live, it was outside? And you mentioned that you listen to music to help you relax, does that help if you?
That was my next
Sometimes.
question. What are some of your favorite activities
Well,
to
music.
relax?
Music.
Okay. Michael, what are some of your stressors?
Hearing the neighbors listen, blaring their loud ass radios at 2, 3 in the morning while you're trying to sleep.
All right. What are some other personal stressors that you have? Things that
People.
really.
Sometimes people can be stressors because depending on the types of people you congregate around or people you just pass by on a daily basis while you're going down the street. Sometimes people can be stressors depending on their personality or their attitude.
I listed my kids as stressors. I love my kids more than I pick them over you guys any day. I love them, but they can be, even people we like can be stressful sometimes. So yeah, I agree. People.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you like to do to relax though?
I like to sometimes sometimes I like to be by myself because sometimes being by myself allows me time to calm my thoughts down, so that way I'm not too bombarded by other people and their BS, which impacts mine. So sometimes taking a little time apart from other people allows me time to calm down.
Thank you. This is what I was talking about earlier. Somebody else may answer a question and you think, oh yeah, being alone. I'm amending one of my answers. Just being alone and getting away from everything and everybody sometimes is one of the ways that I relax. Thank you. Anything else you'd like to add?
That's pretty much it for right now. I mean, if there's more, I'll let you know.
Okay. Who else would like to go? Brian? What are some of your stressors?
My cafe job, my money, thinking about the future and relationship problems when they arise.
Okay. And what are some of your favorite activities for relaxing or having fun?
Petting my dog, watching YouTube videos, hanging with friends, intimacy, stuff like that.
All right. Cool. Who else would like to go? Anybody?
Okay,
Heidi?
I have 9 children, so I say my children. Sometimes I feel like, trying to help this one, I feel like, man, everybody's pulling at me. You try to be there for them as a mother, but.
Even when my kids are behaving, this one wants me to do this to have fun, this one wants me to do this to have fun, so even the good activities can be
Right.
stressful when you got that many kids.
And unnecessary noise, especially when you're trying to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay?
Especially around in the hours around 2, 3, 4 in the
that's
morning.
ridiculous.
You know that's around the time that you're supposed to be getting some sleep.
That's
And
right.
I can tell which ones of my peers have apartments, because,
I have the same issue.
It'd be loud, obnoxious music too.
All right,
Sure do.
let's get back to Aisha. Any other stressors you'd like to share?
No, that's bad.
Okay, and what do you like to do to relax and have fun?
Prayer.
Prayer?
Mm-hmm. maybe take a hot bath,
Okay,
nice bubble bath to relax myself, turn my phone off, put my eyes mask on, and just be into Aisha for a minute.
all right.
I got one of those. I sleep with one of
Eye
those
mask?
at night. Yeah, because it blocks out any type of light, because I'm very, for some reason, if there's any type of illumination, I'll easily wake up. If there's any type of light or any type of illumination, I'll easily be woken up.
When we get to the page about sleep, remember that and write it down.
Yeah.
You know you sleep better when you have your mask on.
Yeah, when it's completely dark.
Okay? Who else would like to share? Julianne? Bill?
Okay.
My
Stressors.
main stressor is my health, because it's deteriorating,
Okay.
as well as, she's not counted, but aides who have no respect for me and don't really want to do the job the way I ask them to do it. I'm going through quite a few aides lately that way.
Okay.
And they steal from me too.
And what are some of your favorite activities for relaxing or having fun?
Going to church, borrowing my neighbor's dog to go play with. My cats don't want to play much. And I'll be happy when I get my service dog.
Okay.
So,
Anything else?
not much.
All right.
I mean, I used to be able to do jewelry and painting, but these have an issue.
Well, we're actually gonna have a week where we're gonna be thinking of things that we can do that are fun, so you can start writing down some of these ideas, like going to the zoo and maybe decide to go back. Julianne, Bill, either of you like to share? Julianne?
Yeah, I made these. I like baking jewelry.
Cool.
Actually, someone made this one for me. I made this one.
What are some of your stressors?
Oh, my stressors. It's not too bad right now.
Nothing stresses you
I'm
out?
coming on, that's all right.
All right, I think everyone in the room is jealous right about now.
Stress free? No, I mean, I have an apartment and, you know, people are loud sometimes, but what I really don't like is it's 4:30 in the morning and somebody's banging on my door. I'm thinking, okay, who would that be? So occasionally I call the police about it, and now I'm friends with all the cops and they're all nice. And they found out who it was a few times that it's been happening. And
Yeah, I think that would stress me out just a little.
yeah. So, and there was the time when they had to break down my door because my knee was in such pain.
Ooh.
And now my apartment door looks like it's just broken into all the time. So they're getting me a new door for my apartment. So I'm happy
Wow.
about that. So nothing really. I mean, I've
Okay.
overcoming it with prayer and God. And
Well, you just answered the next question, I think. What are some of your favorite activities to relax and have fun?
I go to this place called the Healing Center.
Okay.
That's affiliated with the Vineyard Church. If anyone's ever heard of that, it's a lot of fun.
Is it medical healing?
It's
or
really
both?
neat. I've seen Larry there, actually.
Okay.
I don't know, he left. But, yeah, it's medical healing or spiritual healing. Or
Very cool.
actually, what I like is both, you know?
Yeah.
As much as.
Well,
you
a
got
lot
it.
of things that hopefully this class will teach, I know another class we have here called 8 Dimensions that teaches is they all affect each other, all of the domains of our lives. And personally, I know that when I get physically sick, last time I caught the flu, I was in a bad mood. It affected I was more depressed, I was more manic. So all our spiritual health affects our physical health, or affects our mental health, et cetera, et cetera. So all the different aspects and domains of our life. Bill, what stresses you out, sir?
A couple of people in my life, but then there are also people I go to unstress me, so it's really messed up. But one thing that I do that does stress me out is I don't take care of things when they pop up, and I let them build up, and then that just gets to be like this giant boulder, you know. And I try to take care of everything at once. Clean the whole house
Okay.
instead of doing the dishes and washing laundry as you go, or answering the mail as I get it, instead of waiting for 3 months to go to the mailbox.
Oh, so you like, I have a bucket full of mail at home,
I'm
guys.
bad with mailbox.
I have a bucket full of mail that I need to go through.
3 months?
Yeah.
Man.
And Julianne, just so you know, my mailbox is like 15 steps from my couch, so it's not far.
That's fun.
I have a case manager that gets on me about the mail.
The case manager offered to come over and go through my bucket of mail with me.
Yeah, got that done.
Wow.
All right, what do you like to do to relax and have fun?
You know, intimacy is a good one. I play the piano. I like to go out with friends. Like
Okay.
to watch sports.
All right. I'd like to end the class. I'd like to end all classes like this, not just this class, but because I think it helps us with optimism and just have a better day. What's something that you can look forward to in the next week? It can be something big like you're getting married, or something small like you're going to get an iced tea at McDonald's, or a hot fudge sundae at McDonald's. I'm going to do on the way home today. Seriously. So it can be something big or small. What's something you're looking forward to in the next week, big or small?
Small, little money.
Okay, getting more money.
I'm looking.
Sorry, Brian?
Oh, go to therapy.
I'm looking forward to moving into a new apartment.
Cool. You're doing that this week?
I don't think it's gonna be this week, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be before the end of this
Very
month.
cool. Very cool. Reed? Maurice, what's something you're looking forward to this week? Big or small, doesn't matter. It could be French fries from McDonald's. I like using McDonald's as an example because it's something I really like that I don't do all the time, and when I do it, it's like a really nice treat. So what's something small or big?
Probably Friday.
Okay?
Watching TV Friday,
Okay.
listening to music on Friday.
The movie Friday or just Friday the
The
day?
day.
Okay, okay, I just wanna make sure.
Edith?
I prefer DD.
Aditi, okay.
Me being able to teach children's church on Wednesday.
Okay. Asia?
Continue in my prayers and continue
Not
be
to
more
get-
patient
Not to get your
and
kids.
try to get along with everyone.
Okay. Julianne, anything you're looking forward to in the next week?
Friday's my birthday.
Yay!
Oh,
And
okay.
you're looking,
You looking forward to another year?
I don't always look forward to my birthdays, so.
Well, happy early birthday.
Thank you, honey.
Yes, Julianne. Bill, is there anything you're looking forward to in the next week?
Yeah, a couple things.
Anything you want to share with the group?
Sure. Got an event Wednesday night I'm looking forward to
Very cool.
here for our transitional age youth.
Oh,
We're at game night. So it's gonna be a Cards Against Humanity Fest.
very cool.
And I'm looking forward to Amanda starting.
Okay. I am looking forward to Thursday. The weather's supposed to be nice, and I haven't had a lot of nice days with my health. So Thursday, I might be able to come here and be here all day, and I'm really looking forward to getting out of my apartment for a whole day. Haven't done that in a while. I need that, so. Thank you, everybody.